Weight Loss Part 1 is the first episode of the 5th season of The Office. This is directed by Paul Feig, and as always there will be spoilers from now as I go through the episode and share some thoughts. And in general, while I think it was a decent recap on most of what happened at the end of the previous season, I didn't think it was a good episode, and I think largely that's because the weight loss part of it just makes me feel really, really uncomfortable. The rest of it is fine, to be honest, not a lot happens, but as I said, it does recap some things. So I'll go through everything chronologically, but I don't really have that many thoughts. I just didn't really enjoy it. Starts off establishing that the branch that loses the most weight gets 3 extra days vacation, which was slightly better than I thought, because when I read the basic premise for this as I was about to watch it, I thought it was individual weight, but actually they're weighing themselves collectively as a group. I'm not saying that that's particularly good, but it's slightly better than focusing on the one person who can lose the most weight. So I don't like it. I absolutely hate it. And I don't necessarily think it's meant to be aspirational, that people should go around and do this in their companies. I don't think that's what they're trying to say, but I still find it to be really, really awkward, and I don't like it at all. We also get confirmation that Pam is going off to art school for 3 months, and I had assumed at the end of the previous episode that would take place between the seasons, but actually it's not. It starts in this episode, and I was curious to see what would happen there, and I'm still curious going forward. We also find out that Jim still hasn't proposed because he didn't want to start off their engagement with then 3 months of them being apart. Michael and Holly are getting along really well, and Angela and Dwight are still doing things behind Andy's back. And when the cameraman or camera person asks Angela how she sleeps at night, we don't hear the question, but she answers it, and it's very clear that that's the question she's answering. And I thought it was pretty funny. Does she really not care? I don't know. It's difficult because she was only with Andy to begin with to get back at Dwight. But now that she doesn't necessarily want to get back at Dwight, or maybe she's having her cake and eating it too, I really don't know what to expect going forward. I don't like the fact she's cheating on Andy. As annoying as he is, he doesn't deserve that. So I don't know what to expect going forward, and I am keen to find out. So we'll see what happens there. We also get the new receptionist who's covering for Pam. This is Ronnie, played by Dale Rowell. And we don't really get to know her too much, but she seems like she could be a good character. So I hope that we get to dig a little bit deeper into her over the next few episodes, or for however long Pam is away within the show. Maybe this is it. Maybe we'll cut to 3 months later. I've got no idea. But certainly I think I'd be keen to know more about her character. And we also finally get Holly realizing that Kevin is not mentally challenged, as she puts it. Angela is shouting at Kevin for doing something wrong, and Angela says that he's an idiot, to which Holly responds, he is not an idiot, he is mentally challenged, which is really not something you should shout out in the middle of an office anyway. But it was a really awkward moment, and I found that to be really uncomfortable as well. But I'm glad that Holly finally realizes that she doesn't need to treat Kevin like he's mentally challenged. So I thought, finally, at least, we can move on from that. And Jim goes to visit Pam, which I hadn't expected. I thought that was quite nice. And he walks into her room and turns around, points to something behind him, I think some artwork, and shuts the camera person out. I like the fact that for a couple of seconds, we just focus on the camera person, or the camera, as if they just realise they're defeated and they can't get any footage from this. It was a nice moment. And we have a party where they're not meant to have cake, they're only meant to have fruit because they're on this weight loss challenge. And honestly, I don't understand why this needed to be 2 parts. I'm not left wanting more. It hasn't left on a cliffhanger. I don't really know what the next episode is going to be about. This one didn't really have a lot to offer other than just basically reminding us of what happened at the previous season, at the end of the previous season. So I don't really have any highlights. I guess Jim and the camera person towards the end was quite funny. And I like the fact, I didn't like the moment, but I like the fact that Holly now knows about Kevin. I think it was better to make that known as early on as possible if they had to do that story. I liked meeting Ronnie as the new receptionist, and that's it. I don't like it. I don't like this episode. I find it to be uncomfortable and awkward, and I don't really think it offered anything either. So I have no idea what the point of the next episode is going to be. But maybe I'll watch that, and it'll be jam packed, and I'll think, okay, fair enough. We needed time to set things up, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm curious about it, so I'm kind of excited to watch it because I have no idea what to expect. But certainly based on part one, Weight Loss Part 1, yes, it was good at recapping most of what happened, but ultimately I didn't think it was an enjoyable episode of The Office.